It's my honor to invite up CBST board member Amy Prince to share some reflections. This year, we are having reflections speak about not just becoming a member, but what it is to be an engaged member of the CBST community and the joys that that brings. Thank you so much.
Shana Tova. It's an honor to speak to you today on this day that invites us to begin again. These high holidays ask us to reflect not just on who we are, but how we are with one another. And that's what I'd like to talk about today. How community happens here, how it shows up for us, and how we show up for it. When I think about community at CBST, there's a moment that I think back to often. It was Havdalah during a CBST retreat. We were outside in a circle, under the stars, singing and praying together, being quiet together, marking the end of one week and the beginning of another. There was something about that night, the cool air, the candles, the voices around me, that truly felt like an embrace. I felt like part of something large and holy. And if I'm being honest, I also felt surprised. I'm not naturally much of a joiner, but that night, I felt joined. For me, the very first doorway into CBST was years earlier when my wife and I had a son. Hi, Emmett. And we wanted to give him a Jewish education, a place where two moms, two dads, adoption and surrogacy and donors were the norm, and where we could be Jewish and lesbian and progressive without it being a thing. So we joined Limud, CBST's Hebrew school program. We made friends with other Limud parents. We went on pride marches. We had Shabbat dinners in each other's homes. We celebrated and we mourned together. But that night at the retreat, I was filled with a different kind of gratitude, and I decided to give something back. So I tossed my hat in the ring, and I joined the retreat committee. It was really fun. I met new people. I helped shape some themes and events. I even became a co-chair for a few years. Well, that doorway opened another doorway, and one hat led to another hat. I took a class. I attended an event. I met more people, forged more friendships, got out of my comfort zone. I loved how I could bring my whole self, the whole messy thing, to this community. I loved how CBST gave me ways to be a scholar, an activist, a parent, a davener, and to connect with other people doing the same. It helped me see how to bring my Jewishness into the world and the world into my Judaism. There was no one moment when it all clicked, but over time, the rituals and learning, even the meetings, became part of my life's rhythm. CBST stopped feeling like somewhere I attended and started to feel like part of who I am. The hats started to pile up. I joined other committees. I volunteered at high holiday services. I went on the family trip to Israel. Whether serving on a search committee or welcoming people to services, it always felt like the more I gave to CBST, the more it gave back. It made real for me the notion that when you step in, community steps in towards you. And the feeling, the time I spend engaged with CBST feels something like being in that Havdalah circle, fun and warm and meaningful and large and holy. But enough about me. Today, I would like to invite you to think about what stepping in could look like for you. And just to be clear, you don't have to join a committee, you don't have to take on a leadership role, you don't have to speak from the bima. It's about small steps, a tiny little hat you could throw in the ring. Maybe it's going to a meeting of Middle East and Me, CBST's discussion group about Israel-Palestine. Or maybe it's going to deliver a meal to someone who's ill with Chesed, our group who supports members going through difficult times. Or signing up for a class. Or even reading through the e-news all the way to the end. That counts too. If you're already involved, think about what one step further might look like for you. If you've been on the edges, maybe is a moment. now that you can step a little closer. There are so many doorways. I invite you to walk through one. You can always walk back out if you really want to, but like me, you might be surprised at how good it feels. Ready to think about changing your situationship with CBST into a relationship? There are two things you can do. Send an email to info@CBST to get more information about what's going on. Or find someone wearing a badge like this one. Pull them aside and say, I think I'd like to get more involved, but I'm not sure how. We'll help you find a doorway or a hat. Thank you. Shana Tova.